book I read was Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, and this book was extremely complicated, but it was a good read. Basically, it starts off with this guy named Lockwood, and he rents a manor home at Threshold Branch, and basically he stays there, and he later becomes introduced to the owner of the estate, Mr. Heathcliff, and he has mixed emotions about him. And later on, the servant or housekeeper, Nellie, decides to tell him the whole background story on Heathcliff and his history. And basically, back when she was telling the story, it all started off with Mr. Earnshaw and Mrs. Earnshaw. They had a daughter named Catherine and a son named Hindley. And Mr. Earnshaw went to Dubai, or I don't know, he went somewhere. Oh, Liverpool. He went to Liverpool, and he adopted a son named Heathcliff. And as soon as he brought him home, Hindley immediately did not have any interest in him. He didn't like him at all. And Catherine, she fell madly in love with him. Every time they were separate, she would just throw the biggest tantrum. And their only way of punishing her when she did something wrong was to separate them. And later on in the story, Mr. Earnshaw dies, and Hindley takes control of Wuthering Heights, the estate, and he, because of his hatred for Heathcliff, he takes his revenge out on him and makes him a servant, basically, and he has to labor the land, and he forbids Catherine to be with him. So 3 years after that, he runs away and he disappears, and then when he comes back, he comes into this huge amount of wealth and money, and basically it reverses, and he takes over Wuthering Heights, and Catherine ends up marrying another guy named Edgar, and Heathcliff ends up marrying Edgar's sister, and it's this big, whole, complicated love relationship, and in the end, you'll just have to find out what happens to them all. It's a good read, but the English is hard, so keep Sparkos handy.